Hey, so you're in my class. Yay! I'm super excited. I love my job. I've already told you this. But our first assignments are, let's see, I'm sure that you did the Canvas assignment yesterday where you had to turn in 10 answers to the colored questions. I'm sure that you did that already. So you're probably ready for the Ed puzzle that just detailed some of the things that we'll be working on this year, and you just have to answer a couple of the questions. And that way, also, I know you're in my EdPuzzle class. Yay! So if you're not in the EdPuzzle class, just make sure that you go back to day one, which was August 5th on the calendar. I will always post on the Canvas calendar. And sometimes if I'm gone or something, or we have a snow day, e-learning day, I'll post an announcement just to remind you, check the calendar. But that's where you'll get my EdPuzzle class information. So this is just all for people just in case you just joined or you've been quarantined, because I already had my first quarantine. Oh no. But it didn't come from school, so I think I'm allowed to say that. So your first writing assignment is going to be this. So you're going to practice writing a letter to a counselor, a coach, or a teacher. And it technically is going to be an email, and you don't actually want to send it to the counselor or the teacher. This is just a practice assignment, but this is just what we expect at the high school, how you would talk to a teacher, and you want to be respectful. But you want to edit your work, check your work over and make sure that it makes sense. But I actually asked the counselors for some examples of emails where students really messed up. So I was going to go through these with you. I find these kind of fun. And also, I can't believe the student wrote what they did. Oh my gosh, it's shocking to me. So we want to make sure that your teachers and your counselors are going to take you seriously, because, respect is met with respect. And it's unfortunate. People are going to judge you based on your writing, and the way that you appear. Do you appear professional, or do you appear kind of like a slob? And if your writing is sloppy, it's going to be questionable. Here's an example, a very recent example. I think I'm allowed to say this. I have to share my personal experiences because they're important to students so they understand. But we were supposed to get a new English teacher, and he actually showed up on the first day, but I was a little nervous about him from the start because his emails to me were very informal. Not that they were inappropriate, but they weren't punctuated. And I thought, what English teacher doesn't punctuate their professional emails? Oh, if you're going to send a text, that's one thing. Feel free on the internet to use whatever grammar you prefer. Expect people to make fun of you, but I just thought, this is an English teacher. This is his first day on the job. Why is he not using proper punctuation? I don't know. Maybe in class I'll show you, but you'll have to ask me what he wrote and why I already judged. And I can't help it. Everybody judges. They categorize people in their mind. And so that's what's going to happen when you go to a job interview, or you have to write a letter. People are going to say, okay, this person is intelligent, or they're not intelligent, or they're moderately intelligent. And that is unfortunate, but that is the way the world works. So we just want to help you. And you want your counselor to be impressed by you. And you want your teachers to be impressed by you. And if you're trying to impress your peers, those are probably the wrong people to impress. Okay, so one thing that's really important in your letters is your tone. Who's your audience? What are you asking for? If you're writing to somebody that's higher than you, higher up than you on the hierarchy of power, then you need to be very respectful, right? And how should you appropriately ask for what you want? So maybe it's not even a teacher. Maybe you're writing to ask for a refund. There's a polite way. There's a respectful way to do that. And number two, the greeting and the signature line. These are really important. Good morning. That conveys a sense of professionalism, but hey is a lot more casual, so there's going to be a judgment placed upon that. It's fine for a text, and it's fine for your friends. It's fine for your teachers that you casually know and everything, but For an email, good morning, Mrs. Stevens, right? With a comma in between. So good morning, comma, Mrs. Stevens, colon. So that's going to get, this person, I'm going to write back and I'm going to take time to write back to them because they took the time to write to me and it was serious. And especially when you're writing a teacher email, always leave the class period. Always do that. And the class, like, hey, I'm in your English Honors 9, period 3. That's really helpful. Because now I know who you are. Right? And I don't have to spend time looking for who you are. That's just helpful. Salutation. This means like, so if I was going to write a letter to Mr. Good, I know his first name's Randy. I've heard that. I wouldn't write, Dear Randy Good, because I don't know him. So I'd say, Dear Mr. Good. That would be way more respectful because I don't know him as Randy. So that's what salutation means. And I got to figure out, are they a Mr.? Are they Mrs.? Are they Ms.? And if you're not sure, it's dear sir or madam. So like if you're writing to the Pendleton Taco Bell, dear Taco Bell store manager, dear sir or madam, colon, those things are perfect. A colon is where you have the 2 dots, right? You have to proofread for number 4. This should make sure you just look over your work. I've been guilty of it too. Everybody's turned in something with an error on it, so none of us are perfect. Okay, here's some examples of some email fails that the counselor sent me, and these are so embarrassing. I'm going to read them as I would read them if I was Mrs. McCord. Hey, Kathy! A student wrote this already. I'm shocked. I was looking on Play-Doh, and it says the due date is May 29th. Is that right, or is it May 1st? Okay, some questions I have. There's no subject line. Play-Doh's not capitalized. I's not capitalized. This should say, Dear Mrs. McCord, colon. Like, it should be very formal, right? And then, yikes, what class is this person even talking about? So I think we need more information, and I also think like it needs to be more respectful in tone. What else? Let me look at my 5 checkpoints. It needs to be proofread. There's just a lot of information missing. So okay. We can tell that they sent that from their iPhone too because they put no effort into that email. Okay, so here's the next email. Yikes. This is to Mr. Taylor, I think. I'm sure with how many students there are in this school, there is some way we can move it. So number 1, I'm thinking like they're trying to move their class. I want to try a new class rather than study hall. Oh, I feel that. I don't know if you get so much done in study hall. It's kind of chaotic. It doesn't seem too crazy. Oh, that word choice. The capitalization, right? This is already a mess. It doesn't sound too crazy to move my 5th period to psychology, spelled incorrectly. There is 2 weeks before the school even starts, comma splice. Therefore, comma, you have plenty of time to balance the schedule back to what you need. Okay, I'm going to go back up here to my 5 checkpoints. This is not appropriate. This tone is inappropriate. Like, this is condescending. Do you see it? I mean, like maybe we could talk about tone a little bit more when we get into the short stories, but this tone is inappropriate. It's too informal and it's not respectful. It says, balance the schedule. When you put that in quotations, it sounds almost like disrespectful, right? So I would like in 5th period to be psychology, the spelling there, and my mom thinks it's a great idea. Well, we're all glad that your mom thinks it's a great idea, but your mom doesn't balance the schedule right. She doesn't know all the things that Mr. Taylor has to check off, right? He has a whole Google form of kids that would like to change their class, So she strongly advised me to change it to begin with. Please reconsider. So I would just definitely take the part about your mom out there. We all know that your mom wants that. That's just implied. So, this person is not going to be taken seriously, though. You know what I mean? this is not going to be taken seriously. And Mr. Taylor's or Mrs. McCord, whoever this was sent to, is probably going to blow this person off. I mean, that sounds disrespectful, but just the tone of this email, like I wouldn't like this person. Okay, the next one. I will not be there tomorrow for the senior agreement. What do I need to do? This person down here, I'm sure there was a whole pamphlet of things they were supposed to read. So they didn't read that pamphlet and they need to go back and read that, because the counselor's not going to send another email after she already put together a whole slideshow, I bet, of all the things that their seniors are supposed to know. Here's another. How can I sign up for AP chemistry next year? Well, who are you even? Like, let us know who you are and tell us like what your concerns are. There just needs to be more there, right? It's not a bad tone, but dear Mrs. McCord, started off with something. This is the person that says, I was wondering if I could be in acting and musical theater with Mrs. Brown. This is, I'm not a counselor, but I probably would need to know more information. I was wondering why I don't have a third period. That seems like something you would need to meet in person with your counselor to talk to them about. So, and then this student, okay, Mr. Taylor is an administrator along with being a counselor. So you never want to address him as Mike Taylor. I don't even call him Mike Taylor. So Mr. Taylor. Yikes, this person is just acting like they're texting. This is terrible. You cannot be in a class just because your friends are in there. Don't ever email your counselor that. Yikes. I'm not a counselor, but I would just say that seems like a very bad idea, because they are going to do the opposite. Because if you want study hall, you actually need to study. And then, yikes, just the punctuation there. So here are some real emails to a teacher. I'll just go over one of these. Let's see. Hey, my partner blank isn't doing any work and hasn't done anything for the whole project. Period. I'm not trying to be a snitch, but I want to go to bed and turn it in if he's not doing any work. I texted him and he only has to do 3 slides out of the 12. Period. I'm also sorry for this late email, comma, but I didn't know it wasn't finished until later tonight. I'll share my slides with you so you can see the work I've done. Period. Okay. This is great. I'm glad that they're letting me know ahead of time and they're sharing with me what they have done. However, I'd rather them turn their slides in and let them leave me a note on Canvas like, I finished my part, but my partner is X. We're in class period 3. I'm turning in my slides so that you know that they were done on time. Okay. That is a lot better than sending the teacher the email, I'd say, but I appreciate the heads up. This needs to be punctuated for all your teachers, okay? And then let's see. Don't share things with your teachers because we are overwhelmed in our email boxes. Turn it into Canvas, okay? And leave us a little note, in the comments and everything. That's the best way. And then yikes. I know I said I would just go over one, but this one says, what did you say I was doing about the 2 quizzes? First of all, what class period are you in? Who are you? What quizzes are you referring to? Just assume that the teacher needs more information there. I don't understand this email. So that second part, I don't understand. So might need to talk to me in person. Okay, so this is finally, I'm getting to your assignment. Yay, I finally stopped talking. All right, so you're going to choose one of these scenarios, you guys, and you're going to type it up. Let's see. It needs to be at least, let's say 5 sentences. And this will be turned in on Canvas. Don't send it to my email because I'll actually think you have an issue. I will actually think you have an absence or a funeral. Or you're trying to get hired here at Pendleton. I wouldn't actually think that, but you need to turn this into Canvas. You might actually have, let's see, a letter to your coach, and you accidentally sent it to me. So I need you to write a 5-sentence email, pretend it's an email, but you're going to turn this into Canvas. This is showing you how to add an email signature, which is a very good idea. And once you turn that into Canvas, you are done. So today you've watched your 2 EdPuzzles. You're working on your letter when you're done. And I need this turned in by Monday, this letter, okay? So let's say Monday midnight. That'll give the kids at were absent a chance to make up their work. Okay, so I'm going to finish this video now.